So, I just posted a video about the art and about, you know, the auction, all that stuff, but I didn't feel right about ending it like that. I do these videos whenever, you know, I feel the need to talk about things. I don't really worry about what I look like. I don't worry about my hair. I don't worry about any of that stuff. The thing that when I feel that I need to talk about some things, I'm just going to do it. And it's just real. So what happened today? All right? This whole year, this entire election and this entire thing, it's all based on a lot of hate. Hate this, hate that. Someone said something, it gets taken out of context, and you're supposed to hate them. And really, really hate them. Let's talk about Trump. He's a human being. He's a person. And everybody has their limited understanding of what's going on in the world. And I do believe that there are people in the world that, with their limited understanding of what's going on, they're trying to do good stuff. Okay? When you're trying to tell a person in power that they may be off about something, does it help to try to destroy their character? Does it help when you're listening to the other side that just wants to win for their own reasons? Listen to them of what their interpretation is of what that person meant. Does that help? It doesn't. And when your intent is good, when your intent is really trying to understand the issues of what's going on, you want to talk in goodwill. You want to keep those doors open of communication. You know, I'm so tired of hearing people try to destroy him personally, as though he's some sort of like mass scapegoat for everything that's wrong. When, if we just peel back the veil a bit, and we see the real people that have been making tons and tons of money and all kinds of things dealing with human exploitation, they're the ones saying that stuff. And anyone that's trying to put hate in your heart, anger in your heart, do something out of hatred. Do an action out of hatred. You're never going to get anywhere. And nothing's ever going to get cleaned up. Nothing's ever going to get fixed. Nothing's ever going to really be good, because our intent is always based on hatred. Look what happened today. That was horrible. I don't care where you stand politically. I really don't. Do you think that with all the stuff that people have been talking about for the last year and a half, derivatives of anger, derivatives of frustration, derivatives of understanding what they hear from a certain entity that wants to create hate, do you think the media wants us to be happy? Do you think that they want us to feel that there's peace in the world? I'm real tired of this. They're constantly putting fear. They're constantly, it's like energy vampirism. They want us to feel that we should be living in fear. They want us to feel angry. And the weird thing is they want us to feel angry about people that want to talk honestly about things that are going on. Do they ever talk about sex trafficking in the media? It's so pervasive. Do they ever talk about who's making money off of this? No. Do you know that the gentleman that got shot today, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're an independent, whether you're a Republican, wherever you come from, you know, the thing is that specific person, I'm going to say his name wrong, Scalias? Maybe I said it right. He actually had just recently talked openly and publicly about sex trafficking. Think about that. Are they talking about that in the news? Are they putting that connection together? Guess who makes all that money? I don't care if you're Democrat or you're independent or Republican. It's individuals that are leaders in certain political spaces that are involved in that. Are you more Democrat than you are finding out who are the individuals within a certain party that are doing wrong things? Are you willing to be so angry about what certain entities are spinning that it's okay for someone like that to get killed? Everyone's an individual. Everyone's an individual. It's not about parties. And if we think about that, we start really listening to each other and then really finding out who's involved with what. There's some people that are actually celebrating what happened today. It's not cool. It's not cool. And there's some people that they just focus on what they can do to stick it to Trump or stick it to supposed people that they've been told by people they listen to they're bad people. Do you really think that people need to be killed? You know, in my own life, and again, sometimes I talk about microcosms that also happen in bigger situations. Sometimes the people that are speaking the truth and are really trying to do something good, they are attacked like nobody's business. I know that's happened to me before. I know that there's been some things that I've done that I really did out of goodwill, and everyone took it the wrong way. And I got attacked. Bad. Bad. So I think about that with what's going on here. Are we really going to accept that it's okay for those kind of things to happen like what happened today? No. It's not cool. Hate does breed hate. And resisting persists. And you can't say that you're for freedom when you're the only way that in your mind that you think freedom is going to happen is by destroying other folks in a really bad way and becoming the monsters that you say that you're fighting. It's not going to work. You actually just become the monster that you think that you're fighting in your head. So if we really are about love, love trumps hate. That's been a big thing people talk about. I don't see that right now with some of those folks that talk about that. I don't. And I also see how if we're not careful about what we allow our minds to go to, we could become like that guy that did what he did today. Would we be a hero? No, we wouldn't. Ideas are the issues, not people. You can talk with people about issues, but it doesn't mean you have to kill them. You become the murderer. You become like Cain. And it creates a civil war that those who want global war want. They want us to all fight each other. They want us to all massacre each other for derivatives of ideas that are not even really the real game. So are you going to be a player, or are you going to get played? I'm going to say it again. Are you going to be a player, or are you going to get played? All right? If you want to be a player and you really want to make good of this life and all the stuff that we've got going on, you breathe what you do out of love and out of openness and out of peaceful opposition. You know, you can talk different things. And that's what I gotta say about that. Take your money out of the banks. You don't have to go out in the streets and act like a maniac. Just know your own energy. Know your own space. Know what you're about. Take your money out of big banks, because the big banks fund both sides. There is no left-right. It's owned by the same source. But everyone's fighting left-right, left-right, left-right on all these derivative misunderstandings. And the same source is benefiting from it. Don't get played. I don't want you to get played. Take your money out and you put it in a local credit union. You know? You can do lots of different things. But running around the streets and being angry, that just hurts your own heart. And it starts warping your own mind. What do you think that guy went through? What do you think that guy had to go through to get to that space where he decided the best thing to do for himself in his life was to take out all of those people? Do you know that some of those folks had their children with them? And Rand Paul was there. Rand Paul's a good man. He's a good man. I don't know personally a lot of those other folks, but I know Rand Paul is a good man. And what if something happened to him? We listen to voices and echo chambers that keep telling us to hate certain people over and over and over again within our own communities, without listening to the original person. I've listened to Ron Paul and Rand Paul for years. They're not bad people. They're good people. He almost died today. And there are people that are major criminals within the Democratic Party. You know how gangs work? I know how gangs work. You know why? Because I grew up in East Liberty. I went to school with a lot of these kids. And then I moved to LA where there was major gang activity. And I knew a lot of people in gangs. I did. So let's talk about gang mentality. Gang mentality is serious, how do I put this? It's enslavement. Because what happens is you can't think for yourself and do the right thing in a gang. You've aligned yourself with a crew. You've sworn an oath to the crew. And whatever the crew or the leader of the crew does, however wrong it is, however bad it is, you can never stand up as an individual within that group and say, you know what, that's wrong. And we got to out that. And you're either going to decide as a leader or one of the members of the gang, that's not cool. Because we're not about that, or I'm not about that. You don't have that opportunity to do that in a gang. If you would go against the gang and the leader of the gang, no matter how awful they decided to do something, no matter how devious, no matter how awful, murderous, whatever, if you stand up for the right thing, you will be killed. Is that freedom? There's a gang mentality that's happening in the parties. And I'll be honest, I see it more in the Democratic Party than I do in the Republican Party. And I'm an independent. I see hiding behind a lot of stuff. I really wish, because, you know, the Democratic Party has a lot of really good stuff that's going on. But if you don't stand up for the individuals that are doing wrong and are creating crazy amounts of hate that are destroying this country, and they're trying to listen to what's happening, people are just ready to flip out because of what they're hearing, because they're aligned with the Democratic Party. But no one's talking about the Democratic Party leaders that are involved in human trafficking, sex trafficking, organ trafficking, pedophilia. It's real, guys. I'm not going to shut up about it. I'm not. It's real. There's a lot of stuff going on, and we need to be wise about it. And when you're training people to exercise in treason and killing a president, I don't care how much they tell you to hate somebody. You don't do that. You don't do that. It's not right. And what if it was the other side? The way to really change things is love and understanding and listening and calling out the people that are doing the wrong things and holding them accountable for their own actions. And not listening to the media that's never going to tell it to you straight. You know why? Because they're owned. You know how they're owned? They're owned by the advertisement and the sponsorship that they get. Where do they get the sponsorships from? They have an angle. They always have an angle. And why do you always hear fear? Why do you always hear division? Why do you always hear problems and anger through the media? When we let that in our own lives, we start thinking the world is a worse place. We start thinking that we are powerless, and then we start freaking out. And I wonder if that's what that guy went through. Or maybe he's just some sort of like CIA shill who they he was a military dude that they brainwashed and triggered and you know, I mean, who knows? That happens too. I know that happens. But nothing's going to get fixed with hate. Nothing's going to get fixed with killing somebody or killing, you know, anything. It's not. We can't have a civil war. Do you guys understand that if we have a civil war, we're done? We're done. The chaos that would ensue would be so bad. And I'm just I'm just being honest right now. Like, you know, I know there's only just a few people that listen to what I talk about. That's okay. But I got to put it out there anyway. If we don't start putting love and connection and acceptance for other people that may not think exactly like us, but we can still show goodwill, and we focus on the good, we're going to lose everything. And they're asking us to lose everything. That's what their goal is. There are some people in this world that want to destroy that kind of thing. So I'm going to go inside. I'm going to hang out with Peter. We're going to watch a movie. And we're going to talk some good stuff. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up. And I'm going to get the paintings ready. And I'm going to put some of those paintings out there that talk about these things in good ways. And I'll see who was interested. And I'll probably go get a cup of coffee. And on the way, I hope I meet a few people that I can say hello to and show some kindness to. And let them know that the world's a better place than what they might think it is. And I hope that you guys do the same. All right? Don't base your actions based on reaction of hate. That's the worst place to be. Empower yourselves to do things based on love and based on kindness. Because a lot of this stuff, they're characters of scapegoats to create hate in the world. And Trump is being used so much right now to be a scapegoat for everyone to just hate and be angry. So let's not focus on anger or hatred. There's a lot of great people in the world. And I'm going to say something pretty profound that might really trigger some folks. What if we didn't know the real game? And maybe Trump is being attacked so badly and being twisted in so many ways because he might be onto a couple things that actually might free us. Not everything. He's not omnipotent. He's not perfect. But maybe there is something that we can gain from his presidency. If nothing else, think of all the different issues that have come to light and all the different things that people are learning now that they didn't know before. Well, we can't put it all on a leader, on Trump's shoulders to fix everything. That's bullshit. That's a cop-out. I'm sorry if I swear. I do sometimes, whatever. I'm R-rated, PG-13. But it's bullshit. We have the power in our own selves, in our own communities, to do things. We shouldn't have one person leading everything all the time and then being accountable while most of us sit around and just watch the television all night. That's a cop-out. Get out there in the world. Show some kindness to some people. Become friends with someone that has nothing to... Become friends with someone that you don't have anything in common with. Do you know how many people I'm friends with that think so differently from me, but I love the hell out of them? You know why? Because I can learn from them. And they learn from me, hopefully, maybe. Or they just... I entertain them. But you know, I don't look to creating friends or connections with other people based on what they have to think exactly like me. That's bullshit. No one is going to think exactly like you, and no one's going to walk the same journey as you. But does that mean that that other person doesn't completely align exactly with how you think is a bad person inherently? No. There's an opportunity for understanding. There's an opportunity for healing. There's an opportunity for goodwill. And we're given that every single day. As soon as you walk out of your house, you can go on the bus. You can go to the coffee shop. Anywhere. I mean, I've opened up my personal home to everybody and anyone. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you're aligned with. You're welcome here. If we can have goodwill and have great nights and discussions and create a fun environment for people to have open, honest, great dialogue, regardless of where you come from or what you're into, that's it. That's the meat. That's the meat. That's what America is about. That's what I'm about. You know? And I hope that that's what you're about too. And sometimes I get heavy, and sometimes I get passionate, and sometimes we all do, you know? I mean, shoot. If you don't get passionate about anything, you're dead. But that doesn't make you a bad person, and doesn't mean that your mind can't change. The more interactions that we have with each other in goodwill, and not innately hating on everything, on hating and creating all of our actions based on hate, it's not going to fix anything. And I'm tired of watching people get killed. I'm tired of watching people living in fear. I'm tired of feeling like if I say something that doesn't agree with someone, they're not going to come to my space anymore because I haven't said exactly what they want to hear. And so they go, I'm going to boycott Kim. Well, that's silly. I wouldn't boycott you. So, anyway, it's getting dark. And I'm like falling into this weird shade of just like blackness. But, there's power in goodwill and understanding and listening to all sides. And being friends with people that may come from many different backgrounds. But you can find connection no matter what. And I think that's what can heal. Throwing hate out is not going to work. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I promise I'll be a lot more happier and positive. And, or maybe I'll just be real. I mean, at this point, that's what we need. We need real. We don't need marketed, happy bullshit faces. We need real. We need real good, and we need real discussions on gnarly stuff, too. And that's what will help. All right, love you guys. Rachel, thanks for tuning in. Dom, love you. Thanks for tuning in. Heidi, thank you. Mara, everybody. All right, guys, you have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.